Detail. Up. Right turn. Boom. Post color. Left turn. Boom. Mark. Oh. Left turn. Early.
Please remain standing and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me.
Hey, you gotta speak up so we can hear you. Speak in the speaker.
Okay. Please remain standing and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as Senior Alan Harrison sings the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Trinity and Alan.
We can't hear you. Set up your mouth.
Good afternoon. My name is Paige Smith. I'm the president for the class of 2024. Welcome to Fairless High School and our recognition of veterans as we celebrate Veterans Day one day early. I would like to give a special welcome to the veterans here today and to the students who invited them. All veterans are welcome to stay for a reception immediately following the ceremony. This is the 69th year that Veterans Day is being celebrated. Prior to 1954, it was known as Armistice Day, signifying the end of World War I, the war to end all wars. I would also like to acknowledge the mothers, fathers, spouses, and children of our military men and women. And to my fellow students, I would encourage you to take an interest in the stories of those who make our country safe and free. At this time, we would like to recognize the veterans on the staff in the Fairless Local School District. As I read your name, please stand to be recognized. Andy Gill will recognize those individuals with a token of appreciation. Miss Janice Messenheimer-Courtney. Mr. Philip Glasgow. And Mr. Chad Merritt. Thank you for your service to our country and parents. To honor all of our veterans, please listen to a salute to the armed forces. Veterans, please stand when your branch is recognized.
I would also like to thank all the veterans who are here with us today. In particular, I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker, Staff Sergeant John Van Arsdale. Currently serves as our recruiter for Fairless High School. He has 15 years of experience in the military. He was deployed to Afghanistan from 2011 to 2012 as an M2 gunner. In addition, he has served in various stateside missions, which included hurricane relief to Louisiana and New York City. He is married and has 3 children. Prior to his speech, please watch the following video with a familiar voice of President Ronald Reagan.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I say your name. Do solemnly swear. To support and defend. The Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And to bear true faith. And allegiance to the same. That I will obey. The orders of. The President of the United States. And the orders of. Those officers. Appointed over me. According to regulations. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God.
We celebrate Veterans Day on the anniversary of the armistice that ended World War I. The armistice that began on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The timing of this holiday is quite deliberate in terms of historical fact. But somehow it always seems quite fitting to me that this day comes deep in autumn, when the colors are muted and the days seem to invite contemplation. It is, in a way, an odd thing to honor those who died in defense of our country, in defense of us, in wars far away. The imagination plays a trick. We see these soldiers in our mind as old and wise, but most of them were boys when they died, and they gave up two lives, the one they were living and the one they would have lived. When they died, they gave up their chance to be husbands and fathers and grandfathers. They gave up their chance to be revered old men. They gave up everything for our country, for us. And all we can do is remember. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. In memory of those who gave the last full measure of devotion, may our efforts to achieve lasting peace gain strength. Let us make a vow to our dead. Let us show them by our actions that we understand what they died for. Strengthened by their courage, heartened by their value, and born with their memory, let us continue to stand for the ideals for which they lived and died.
In the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger. I do not shrink from this responsibility. I welcome it. I do not believe that any of us would exchange places with any other people or any other generation. The energy, the faith, the devotion which we bring to this endeavor will light our country and all who serve it. We shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
All right, so I like to move around a little bit. Charlie, you hear me? You got me? Good? Okay. So I want to first and foremost thank the faculty and staff for having me out today. I really appreciate it.
Your microphone.
You want a mic?
Yes.
Okay.
We can't hear a word you said.
All right, I got you, Charlie. You good? Okay. So I'd like to thank, again, the faculty and the staff. I'd like to thank all the veterans here, and actually I'd like to have them stand one more time so we can recognize them. So everyone who's a veteran here, let's give them a warm round of applause. I know Charlie, I don't know about the rest of you, I know I got to say hi to some of you, but I believe you are a World War II veteran, correct, Charlie? Well, how old are you?
99.
99. Thank you for your service, for real. Thank you for all of your service as well. You may sit down now. Thank you, Charlie. So a little bit about myself. I've been in 15 years. I enlisted in 2008. Shortly thereafter, I got a call. The governor of Louisiana called and said, "Hey, we need your help down in Louisiana for a hurricane relief." And I said, "Okay." So I went down there, and that's actually where I met my wife. My wife was in the service as well, and that's where we met. And now we have 3 beautiful kids: a 1-year-old son, a 4-year-old daughter, and a soon-to-be 7-year-old daughter. She thinks she's 13 already, but so they keep my plate full. From there, in 2011, I deployed for a year to Afghanistan. I was an M2 gunner. For those of the veterans here may know that weapon system. So I ran convoy security missions throughout Kandahar for a year, and it was, an interesting part of the world. Let me just say that. I'm sure some of you have seen some of those similar interesting parts of the world, but the Army has given me so much that I'm grateful for. It's created a life for me that I never thought possible. My 3 older brothers all joined the active service. I'm 9 years apart from them. To my closest brother. And so I was a little kid. I was like 7, and they all left and went off, to deploy, and I hated it. I hated the military. That's all I saw was my brothers leave me, and I never wanted to join. I said, I will never. I was so bitter. I'll never join the military. Well, one day I'm going to the University of Akron, not really going to the University of Akron. I was kind of getting involved in the wrong crowd. I was having too much fun. My life wasn't really going anywhere. And I thought about it, and I said, man, it changed my brother's lives. And my dad is a veteran as well, the Air Force. So I had a long lineage of that, and it changed their lives for the better. And I said, John, you need to look in the mirror and figure out where it is that you want to go in life. Because what you're doing right now, you're not succeeding. So I made that hard decision in 2008, and I enlisted, and it's changed my life for the better ever since. Kind of going back to my timeline, I got home from Afghanistan in 2012, and the Ohio Army National Guard called and said, hey, do you want a full-time job? You just got back, you were a gunner overseas, we think you could, benefit from spending some time in the office and doing some paperwork. And I said, yeah, that sounds good to me. I kind of put myself in a situation where I was ready to kind of sit down and be behind a desk. So I've worked in various full-time capacity roles in the National Guard. Since 2012, I did administrative work. I was a medical readiness NCO, which means I took care of all the medical needs of over 500 troops. So I did that for a few years. And then I decided, you know what, I'm tired of being behind the desk, and I became a recruiter. So my office assistant is actually back there. He's been in for about 3 years. Go ahead, raise your hand. There he is. He's a veteran as well. So I've been doing the recruiting gig for about a year now, year and a half, and I love it. I love to tell people about the National Guard and the military and what it's done for my life and how it's had such a positive impact on my life. So that's kind of my passion now. I get to go out. I'm actually the recruiter here at Fairless, so I've seen some of these faces. When I come in, I'll sit down at lunchrooms, and so if you ever have any questions or anything like that, feel free to come up and ask me. We have a wealth of knowledge, even if it's not, I want to join, but you just have questions about the military in general. So I do have a speech that I want to say. That was kind of my backstory, so I appreciate you guys listening to that. Now I'll kind of get into a formal speech here. Sorry, my throat's a little dry. All right. All right, so on behalf of the Ohio Army National Guard, I want to thank you for being here as we gather to recognize and show gratitude to all of our veterans, which we already did, with a special focus on the 430,000 dedicated men and women who have served in this great state of Ohio. Throughout history, the nation has heeded the call to protect, ensuring our country remains secure and free from the American wartime efforts. The Revolutionary War to World War II and up to current global conflicts, military members have made immense sacrifices and continue to do so. In the words of former President Ronald Reagan, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. Armed forces have proved to be the crucial bridge between generations, preserving and safeguarding our liberties. Chief of the National Guard Bureau, Daniel Hawkinson, has stated, "Our citizen soldiers and airmen stand ready to respond at a moment's notice, and they epitomize the essence of selfless service." Today, the National Guard remains steadfast to its motto, always ready and always there. During World War II, National Guard members made up approximately half of the Army, with 350,000 guardsmen called into active duty. Guard units added 18 infantry divisions, 80 separate regiments, and 29 Army Air Force flying squadrons to the nation's active duty forces. The National Guard units played significant roles in crucial campaigns and battles across European and Pacific theaters. Ohio's largest unit, the 37th Infantry Division, spent 5 years in active service, was engaged in combat in the South Pacific for 592 days, fought offensively and defensively in the jungles of New Georgia and Bougainville and through the streets of Manila, and suffered over 10,000 casualties. 7 members of the Buckeye Division would earn the Medal of Honor. These citizen soldiers were essential in helping to secure victory during World War II. During the Vietnam War, more than 9,000 National Guard members were activated and deployed to Vietnam to serve. While they are a minority in terms of overall personnel, their contributions were more important in supporting the broader U.S. military effort. Meanwhile, many Guard units performed domestic operations at home, including responding to civil unrest during that time. The global war on terror that began after September 11, 2001, terrorist attacks saw a significant and ongoing role for the U.S. Armed Forces and National Guard. Over the course of the conflict in Afghanistan and Iraq, more than 1 million National Guard and reserve members were activated and supported overseas deployments in support of U.S. military operations. Citizen soldiers and airmen played critical roles in many capacities, and their contributions were necessary to the overall effort. The National Guard continues to make significant contributions worldwide, participating in humanitarian efforts, peacekeeping missions, and diplomatic endeavors. In 2023, the National Guard is a vital force providing support to valued allies, including Ukraine and Israel, with that ongoing issue that we're facing. Our dedication to promoting stability and security in these areas is a testament to the unwavering commitment we have to our nation. We also continue to play a pivotal role as the nation's first military responder to natural disasters and emergencies. Prompt and efficient responses underscore the commitment we have to our communities and to our people. In conclusion, let us reiterate our gratitude to the armed force veterans all over the world and in this great state of Ohio. Their service and sacrifice serve as a reminder to the enduring spirit of America. As President George Washington, himself a member of the Virginia militia, said, "To be prepared for war is one of the most effective means of preserving peace." Thank you for taking the time to join us today to honor the legacy of our veterans, and let us never forget the debt of gratitude we owe to those who have served this country. Lastly, again, I know we've been kind of going up and down here, but I'd like the veterans to stand up again. Anyone who has family who's a veteran, please stand up. If you know a veteran, which most of you should by now since we've all been in this room, please stand up. So basically what I'm asking is everyone to stand. And now we're going to pause for a moment to honor our veterans with the playing of taps.
Thank you, Sergeant Van Arsdale. One more hand for him. Thank you for your message. Thank you for your service. And in closing, I just want to say today we've come together to honor our veterans, the brave men and women who have served our country in the military. They've sacrificed their time, their energy, and their lives to protect our freedom and our way of life. To our veterans, we say thank you for your service. Thank you for your willingness to put your life on the line for our country. We know that your service has not come without cost. There's time away from family, from friends, the challenges of training, and for some, the uncertainty of conflict. Through it all, you have remained strong and resilient. Through your example, you have shown us what it means to be a true American. As we close this assembly today, I want to leave you with a few thoughts. First, to our veterans, please know that we are grateful for your service. We are humbled by your sacrifice, and we're committed to honoring your legacy. Secondly, to all of us, I want to challenge you to never forget the sacrifices that have been made to protect our freedom. America is still the greatest country on earth, and we enjoy freedoms here that other people in other countries simply don't have. We must never take our freedom for granted. We must cherish it and protect it. The ideals that our country were founded on are worth fighting for. Finally, to our students, I want to challenge you to live your lives in a way that is worthy of the sacrifices that have been made on your behalf. Be a good citizen. Be a kind person. Make a difference in the world. Students, when you work to make your home, your class, your school, your community, your country, and even the world a better place by serving others, those gifts will come back to you. That is the best way we can show our gratitude to our veterans. Thank you again to all of our veterans. God bless you. God bless America.